Hi, first grade readers. My name is Miss Gilligan, and I'm so excited to be here with you today for a reading lesson. I'm going to share my screen with you, so give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Welcome to our first grade reading lesson. Today, our learning target is I can identify the theme of a fiction story. So you might be asking, what is theme? Well, theme is the message or lesson the author wants us to learn from a story. Some common themes are honesty, bravery, responsibility, and kindness. That means we might read a fiction story and learn a lesson about being brave or being kind. We might also say that the theme of a fiction story is being yourself, never giving up, or doing the right thing. So you may be thinking of some stories you've read before where that was a lesson that you learned. How do we identify theme? Well, as we read our fiction story today, we're going to identify the important events in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. As we identify the important events, we'll think about how do our characters act and how do they feel. And then after reading, when we get all the way to the end of the story, we're going to stop and ask ourselves, how did the character change throughout the story? What did the character learn? So we're going to spend 2 days working on identifying theme with the same book. So tomorrow is when we're going to really identify the theme. Today, we're going to read our story, Little Too Tall, a book about friendship. And we're going to focus on the beginning and the middle. So let me go to the book. And when you first go to this story, Little Too Tall, there's a few introductory pages, but it actually begins on page 5. So Little Too Tall was written by Jane Moncure, she's our author, and illustrated by Susan DeSantis. So I'm going to go to page 5 where the story actually begins. I want you to listen as I read, and I want you to think about what's the important event that happens in the beginning of our story, and how do our characters act and feel. Little Too Tall was all alone in the jungle. I wish I had a friend, she said. Just then, a parrot flew by. Will you be my friend? Said Little Too Tall. My word, said Parrot, you are a funny-looking bird. Your legs are too tall. You cannot fly at all. Goodbye, said Parrot. Then Little Too Tall saw a monkey in a tree. Will you be my friend? Said Little Too Tall. My word, said Monkey, you are a funny-looking bird. Your neck is too long. You cannot climb a tree. Goodbye, said Monkey. A hippo came by on his way for a swim. Will you be my friend? Said Little Too Tall. My word, said Hippo, you are a funny-looking bird. Your eyes are too big. You cannot swim at all. Goodbye, said Hippo. I cannot swim like Hippo, or climb like Monkey, or fly like Parrot, said Little Too Tall. But I can run, she said, and she did. Little Too Tall ran right out of the jungle. Okay, that's the end of the beginning of our story. We're going to stop there. Let's go back to the lesson. And as we think about theme, let's remember that we need to identify the important event from the beginning of our story and think about how the characters acted and felt. So I'm going to model my thinking for you. So as you look at the screen, you'll see that I said the important event from the beginning was that Parrot, Monkey, and Hippo would not be friends with little Too Tall because she did not look like them and couldn't do the things they could do. And I put that illustration there to remind us of how they acted and how it made little Too Tall feel. Because I think Parrot, Monkey, and Hippo acted unkind and unfriendly. And I think this made little Too Tall feel lonely and sad. Thumbs up if you agree. All right, good job. Let's keep reading. Now we're going to read the middle of the story. She ran into a grassy field. Far away, zebra and antelope were eating grass. Little Too Tall stood very still. Her long neck was high above the grass. Suddenly, she saw a hungry lion hiding in the grass. Little Too Tall ran past Lion as fast as her tall legs would go. "Run, zebra! Run, antelope! Run away from Lion," said little Too Tall. All three ran to safety. Now, I'm going to stop again because that was the middle of our story. And that's as far as we're going to read today, just the beginning and the middle. So your reading response is, I want you to reread the beginning and middle of our story. That's pages 5 to 23 only. And you can certainly read that with someone who is at home with you. Share the story with them. Then you are going to think about the middle of the story. I want you to think about the important event that happened in the middle and how the characters acted and felt. And you're going to complete the chart below. You'll have this chart that you can make a copy of if you want to type on it, or you could make your own chart and just write the ideas down, or you could just talk to somebody and share your thinking about the middle of the story, the important event, and how the characters acted and felt. All right, so let me come back to you. So I hope you enjoyed the beginning and middle of our story, Little Too Tall. Our job today as readers was to learn how to identify the theme of a story. Tomorrow we'll finish our story, and that's when we'll really decide what we think the lesson is that we learn from the story, what the theme is. So tonight I want you to practice rereading the beginning and middle, and tomorrow I'll be excited to hear what you think the important event was from the middle and how the characters acted and felt. So I want you to remember to stay safe. Remember that we miss you, we love you, and make sure you come back tomorrow. I'll be here with you again. Bye.